Now, after a 4-year absence, Benin's main opposition, Democrat Party, has returned to parliament with a 28-seat win in the weekend's elections. Sunday's exercise went on without a hitch, a huge relief for those who remember the violence that broke out in 2019 when opposition parties weren't allowed to take part. This year, 3 of the 7 parties in the running were in opposition. Sophie Lamotte has more.
After being excluded from political life for the last 4 years, opposition parties were back on the ballot this Sunday, and they garnered significant support. The Beninese parliament will continue to be dominated by the 2 main presidential parties who maintain a firm majority, but they will now have to share power with a force from the opposition, the Democrats. They now occupy a quarter of the seats in parliament. For this analyst, this puts Benin back on the map as a beacon of hope for democracy in Africa.
It's a return to normality for Benin, as opposed to what we've seen in 2019, which resulted in a lack of interest among Beninese in parliamentary activity and political life. It explains the low turnout that we experienced on Sunday.
A low voter turnout, roughly 38% for these elections, that could have great implications for the upcoming presidential elections of 2026. Any party that wants to run for the presidential elections needs at least 10% of support in these legislative elections.
The true winners were the Democrats, simply because the first challenge for this party was to get 10% of the votes. And they did much more than that. They actually challenged one of the main presidential parties, the Republican bloc, in terms of support.
These elections have also been celebrated as a step forward for gender equality, with women now occupying over 20% of seats in parliament, as opposed to roughly 5% before.